Okay, so let's get to the test, and of course the test will ask you if you're ready to take the test. And I've already told you, make sure that you're ready to take the test. That doesn't mean academically. That means make sure there's not lightning bolts outside, make sure there's not a snowstorm outside. Don't take the test if your computer's freezing. Y'all think I'm crazy, but there's people that will take the test when there's a thunderstorm outside. So make sure you hit it. And here it also tells you how many minutes you have. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Your first question, that's pretty simple. Why does Hubert not entertain extra credit, extra points, dropping any grades during the last week of the semester? Why? Let's see. A. I will take B as an answer, but A is the correct answer. All right, do this one. I'll blow it up. If you can't see, get up and move. This thing is just in the way all the time. I'll have to put it in the middle right now. Now I'm going to do it on the Excel spreadsheet. Those of you that want to use the Excel spreadsheet can. All you got to do is click on this little do-jigger. Copy to Excel. And I'll pull it up in Excel, and that way you see it better. And let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Oh, this, I hate that button. Okay. There you go. And let's go ahead and put it in order. Well, I'll wait until y'all. Well, I'll go ahead and put it. Oops. Data. There you go. That's one thing about the Excel spreadsheet. It's a little faster because you don't have to deal with punching in numbers. And I don't know what the question's asking. I'm going to go do everything. The reason I'm going to do everything is not for my benefit. It's for your benefit. So I'm going to just do everything. Mean, median, mode, range, variance, standard deviation, the mean is the summation. Anybody counted them yet? N is 14 divided by 14, 15. So 15 means I go 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there is my median. Mode I really don't care about. You can pick that out. 44, 46, 44 and 46. Okay. 44, 46, and 51. And that's how you would write it. Now, what if 51 showed up 3 times? Then 51 would be, I don't want you to get it confused. If one of them shows up more than the other, that's the mode. range is the highest minus the lowest. And the mid-range you really need for this question, because this question is asking about the 5-number summary. So you need to know the mid-range divided by 2. And then the variance, we'll go ahead and subtract mean F4. Make sure you hit that F4 if you know anything about Excel, because when you copy down, if you don't hit F4 on the mean, it's going to copy all these numbers down and you're going to get a bunch of errors. And then square it. Then add it up. And that's your numerator. And divide that by 14. And then take that and raise it to the what? What is that? I7. I7 raised to the 0.5 power. Y'all check me. Now, what can I do now that I have these numbers? Well, I've got the mean. Let's paint that green because that's important. The median is important. The mid-range is needed. It's not important. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put it. And the standard deviation. Yes. Star. Yeah, shift 8. In fact, there's been a push that all math books and all math courses should do away with the X and use the star. There's been a push for that. In a lot of your books, you'll see that. I don't really care. Huh? What? Yeah, I mean, because now with, computers and everything is the star. And really the X causes problems when you, or the little cross thing causes problems when you're in algebra, and we do away with it in algebra. So why not? So anyway. All right, so standard deviation is that. So what can I do with that now that I've got it? Well, I can do my bell curve, and that's going to be equal to my median. My mean. And then what I do to the right? Add the what? Add the standard deviation. And I'm going to take it to 3 just because we're reviewing for the test, and in case you're asked. And what do you do on the left? You subtract. And of course, that's your outliers, unusual, and normal. So you need to get used to drawing that based on your empirical rule. Of course, that's normal. That's the first, second deviation. So everything between 66 and 37 is what? 95% of the population will fall between that via the empirical rule. And then what's outside, what's between the second and the third standard deviation? And then what's outside the third? Outliers. So that's that. And then we'll do the 5-number summary. So we'll go over here. And the mean. The first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and the max. So you already got 3 of them. That's the mean. The second quartile is also the what? Median. And the max is right there. So we've got the median right here. So how many numbers are above the median? 7. So do we have to calculate anything or just pick it? Just pick it. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And I'll color that blue. And that blue. And that's equal to, same thing here. 1, 2, 3. And that's 56. We got to color that a number. Let's color that. I don't really call that orange. Let's go to this orange. Okay. Now you got those. Now what do you have to do? Well, now you just draw your box plot. You got to have a number line. So you draw your number line. Number line is very unmathematical. It's not weighted. In other words, number line is a number line. Where 1 is, 1 is. Where 2 is, 2 is. It's very analytical. It's either a point or not. Where on the mean and the median, you kind of got weighted numbers. You can have 107 up here that leans the center to the right. See what I'm saying? So the number line is not weighted by the numbers. It just takes the max and the min and it gives you the middle. That's it. So the middle, the max and the min all put right here. So here's the min, which is 43. I'm still on.
Aren't the first and third quartiles supposed to be average? 56?
If it's even, you got to count the numbers. So you count the numbers above the 51. You find your median first.
And you don't.
And then you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, if the n is odd, you get the middle.
So don't include the median. But do include it. Like when you're counting up from.
You count. All right, you don't count the median because that's the middle. You count the numbers above. And if it's even, then you take the average. If it's odd, you just find the middle. So if you got an odd amount, you're going to pick all the middles because you're not going to end up with an even. If it's even, then you're going to end up with an even. You'll see if you do an even. Okay? So that's 43. What's up here? 467. And right in the middle is mid-range. Mid-range is 55. Now you need to make a circle or highlight that 55, and you need to highlight this 55 over here because the mid-range, that's the only time, if you're not doing a frequency distribution, that's the only time you use the mid-range is on the number line. Now you got to find the middle of the middle of the middle. Now this is just up to you. You can divide that number line into 15,000 little marks if you want to. I usually do 5 or 6. So what is between 43 and 55? Well, you can do the mid-range again. 55 plus 43 is what? 98? Y'all check me. And half of 98 is what? 40 what? 46. No, it's not. 49. 49 is closer. Last time I checked. What's 55 plus 67? Well, I don't want to do that math, so what's 43 to 49? 6. So I'm going to add 6 to this, and that'll be what? 61. Do you have to be right on the money with decimals on this number line?
No.
Why? Because you're just what? You're just drawing a box. So it's not like you're, calculating the the space shuttle equipment. Okay, you're not doing something that exact. You're just putting a box on a number line for those that are paying attention. Don't want y'all asking any questions right after I go over something, right? Okay, so now you got your, and you can divide these up. What's between 43 and 49? 6. Half of 6 is 3. So add 3 right here. That'd be a 46. Then that'd be a 51. Then that'd be a 58. Then that'd be a 63 or 64. You can divide it up into however many you need to. Now, take my blue marker, since the 46 is blue, and I'm going to put a 46 right about here. We said that this was what, 46 in the middle? And then I'll take my orange pen and I'll put that 56 in right in here. And I'll take my black pen. There's my box plot. Now I only do the colors because that way you'll see what I'm plotting. And the mean is where? 51, which 49 to 55 is what? 6, 3, be 51 right in here. So as far as our data goes, not our normal distribution, but our data, what does our data look like? Looks like it's a little bit skewed what? Skewed right, a little bit. Now I think that's what the question's asking, but like I said, if you can do all of that, if you can do all of this with a data set, you're good to go. Because you can answer any question on the test if you can do all of that. So y'all need to write this down because I've got to go to the other page and I'll probably forget it. Now you can actually, let me clear this out. So what was my 5-number summary? 43, 46, 51, 56, what? And now, this one you can eliminate pretty much. It's not this one. Why is it not this one? Because that one's skewed left. This one could be, that's 51, that looks close. You might even have to blow it up. That's a normal distribution right here. Oops. Well, you get the point. That's more of a normal distribution. I think it's this one. What do y'all think? Yeah. And then you said it's a little bit skewed right. So that's how you answer the questions. It's not a big deal. And if you wanted to do that on a calculator, some of it you can do on a calculator. You'd punch it in. I'll show you how to do it, but I'm not going to go through and do it. On the calculator, right here, I'll show you what to do. You hit Stat and Edit. And then you go in and you type all those numbers in. Okay, you clear this one. Just clear. Well, I don't like to do that. And go type in all your numbers, and then after you type them in, hit Stat, calculate first variable statistic, and then type in second L1, and there it is. Okay, that's using those numbers that was in there. Okay, so that's how you use it, but it's not going to give you everything. It'll give you mostly everything. Gives you the 5-number summary right there. You can actually do a box plot. Go to second stat plot. Turn that one on. And then go over here and click on the box plot. I don't know what the difference is between that one and that one. Oh, it's got a dashed line. And hit enter. And hit enter again or graph. And it'll show you. Now you gotta take your eyes and bring it down here, but That's what it looks like. Okay? I don't like to me, in my personal opinion, you will use this calculator in here, but I would much rather you use the Excel spreadsheet in this chapter, because if you can, if you don't know how, that's fine. But if you can, use it, because that Excel spreadsheet, you're going to use it in a lot of your day-to-day life in your career. Is everybody paying attention? Okay. Remember that when y'all ask these questions. So I guess we answered that one. Next one. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? That's another question I'll get at the end of the semester. Make sure if you don't get Marines, put Boy Scouts, okay? Don't put the Army or Navy. You can put Navy or Boy Scouts, don't put the Army. Okay? Here's another one. The following data, do it. The following data represents the number of people ages 25 to 64, years covered by blah, 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 blah. Approximate the mean and standard deviation. This is where you have to use that monster we used, that monster formula. Of course, I'll do it on the spreadsheet. Mean and standard deviation. Yep. Whoever asked that. Okay. You have a chance to work on it. Bless you. Okay, So the first thing you got to do is find x and put your f down. We also need to know what? Need to know n. Can't believe they use these bigger numbers on here. So what do you do to find n? Now find your mean. The mean is pretty simple. I got 44.1, so your average age is 44. Now you find the standard deviation. Alright, so what do we need? Well, we've got n, so we have n minus 1. We have f times x, but what do we not have? Look at your formula. What do we not have? X squared. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do x squared right here, but I'm not going to do my column there. I'm just going to do x squared. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put f times x squared. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to get the wrong columns. So if I'm down here, I can actually pick them out better. So f times x squared. We need that summation. And we all got that. So now we just have to plug and chug into the formula, right? So that's what I'm going to do, except I'm going to do it right here. So the variance is equal to n times what? F times x squared, right? And then you minus what? This number, quantity what? Oops, sorry. This number raised to the out. And all of that is over what? N times what? So the variance is equal to this number times this number minus this number squared over this number times this number. Variance is equal to this number minus this number divided by this number. Variance is equal to this number divided by this number. And the standard deviation is what? This number raised to the what? To the 0.5 power, and there's my standard deviation. So the mean is 10, your standard deviation is 44. So you can actually draw what? You can actually draw a normal curve with 44 being in the middle, 54, 64. Anything outside of 64 is unusual. Back on the other side, 44 minus 10 is 34, and 24, anything below 24 is unusual. Now, usually when you're talking about age or bodies or number of people, they usually round to the nearest. So I'm just going to remember the 44 and 10, although they'll probably want this to the, they would probably say 10.4, but I don't know what the directions say, so let's see what they say. Okay, what's the mean to two decimal places? I'm sorry, what? 44.13. And the standard deviation? I'm sorry? 10.41. Okay? All right, find the z-scores. As soon as I can get rid of this thing. There, thank you. Find the z-scores. All right, so you do the standard deviation at the z-score for both of these. And what does this come out to be?
Thomas is negative 1.6.
Negative 1.7. 1.7 is z sub t, so 1.7, that's 1.5, 1.7.
You have two decimals. I mean, two
1.7
decimals.
what? 1.66?
Yes.
1.67, whatever. So that's negative 1.67. All right, what does this one come out to be?
Negative 3.08.
Negative what?
3.08.
Negative 3.08. So of course, that's way out here. Negative 3.08. So it says, find the respective z-scores. Who had the more convincing victory? Yep. And Thomas had a finishing z-score. You put those in. I'm not going to put those in. And then the answer, of course, would be negative 3.08 because his is negative 3.08. It's not. Is it normal? Is this one normal?
Yes.
This one's not. All right. Next one. Now, we have covered 3 of the most important questions that you can have on this test, because that's what if you can do these last 3 questions, then, I mean, if you can do the 3 questions that we just did, you're good to go, because that's all the rest of the test is. So, it's already time to go, and some of y'all are having convulsions, so I think y'all need to take some medicine. Today was a lackadaisical day, and there's about 4 or 5 of y'all that pushed it. Y'all pushed it today? You pushed the rude limit today? About 4 or 5 of y'all? So, don't do that next week or whatever y'all come back. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so let me pull up the roll.